I want you to know it's okay.
After listening the whole story from Jungkook's mouth, Jimin's eyes became teary. He felt bad for his one and only best friend whose love story is incomplete till now. He glanced at Jungkook and saw him sniffing, hanging his head low. That means the girl in your dreams, proposing her, marrying her, it's all part of your past life, and the girl is YN? He said slowly. Jungkook nodded before glancing at Jimin, who was looking at him already with his tearful eyes. My YN. He smiled sadly. Jimin let out a sigh before speaking. What about her? I don't think so. She is aware of her past. She is a wildcat when it comes to you. She is ready to fight with you anytime, anywhere, he said, shaking his head left to right. Jungkook chuckled and said, I know we are enemies from our childhood, but this time I'll help her to recognize her past life. I will help her. I will help her, but for that I want your help, he said, holding Jimin's shoulder. How? I'll help you, he said confidently. It's a bit tough. Think about it once again. He smirked. Don't underestimate me, bro. Nothing is impossible for me. Just tell me what kind of help you want, he said dramatically while Jungkook laughed on his dramatic self. Jungkook smiled at your fading figure. He looked down and a heavy sigh left from his mouth. He was about to go, but Jimin approached him from behind while holding a letter in his hand and a big smirk on his face. Bro, I got approval, he said, fanning the letter after hearing his words. Jungkook's eyes widened. You serious? Jimin smirked, nodding. Jungkook was just looking at him with his suspicious eyes. What? Why are you looking at me like that? He asked nervously. Jungkook let out a sigh before speaking. I just can't believe that your sister agreed on this. As far as I know her, she is not so easy to convince. Jungkook folded his hands on his chest, looking at Jimin. Jimin scoffed, saying, Are you doubting me now? He asked in disbelief. Wait, let me show you. He opened the letter and handed the letter to Jungkook. Jungkook read the letter and a big smile formed on his lips. Big smile formed on his lips when he found specific signature. How? He asked Jimin with his Bambi eyes. Jimin corrected his collar in a dramatic way before saying, Bro, she's my sister. He patted Jungkook's shoulder and I know how to convince her. That was easy for me. Really? Yeah, very easy. He mumbled to himself, shaking his head left to right. Nona, please, Nona, he pleaded. For God's sake, Jimin, leave my leg, she said, pulling her leg from Jimin's grip while Jimin was sitting on the floor holding her leg tightly. No, Yunji, Nona, please, he said, hugging her leg even more tightly. Jimin, leave. I can't sign the handwritten approval. But Nona, it's not handwritten, it's printed. Still, I can't. It's examination period, Jimin, she said, irritated. Please, Nona, sign the school trip approval. It's the matter of my best friend's life, he pleaded, looking up to her face. Leave my leg, Jimin, I'm warning you, she said, glaring. No, I will not. Fine, she said irritatedly. Jimin's eyes light up. Jimin's eyes light up after hearing her words. He immediately stood up from floor, leaving her leg, smiling brightly. Really, Nuna? He smiled brightly. Yoonji glared at him before saying, "This is the last time I am signing your unnecessary approval." "Promise, Nuna, this is the last time I am being stubborn." He smiled cheekily. Yoonji looked at him, sighing. "Give me the approval." Jimin gave her the approval. She took her pen from the table and signed it. Jimin giggled before taking the approval from her hand, saying, "Thank you, Nuna, I love you." He hugged her tightly, giggling. She hugged him back, smiling. After a good 5 seconds, they broke the hug. I'm not approving any teacher to go with you all. Except Mrs. Hope," she said, checking some files. "Mrs. Hope, why only her, Nuna?" he asked, winning. "Jimin, I can't do anything. All teachers are busy in exam preparations. She is free." Jimin cut her off, saying, "Oh God, Nuna, I'm just asking, why only Mrs. Hope? Why are you giving me lectures on that small thing?" Yoonji smiled sarcastically before saying, "Give me approval." "Why?" he asked, confused. "I want to tour that app." Before she could say something, Jimmy shouted, running outside. "Bye, Nuna, see you at home," he shouted after he left. Yoonji chuckled. "Shorty. By the way, Yoonji is their school principal." "Yeah, where were you lost?" he said, shaking Jimin. Jimin came out of his trance, looking here and there. "Where were you lost?" "Ah, me, I'm thinking about approval. I convinced how I convinced my Nuna," he said, scratching back of his neck. "How?" he asked. I went to her with my fire eyes, huffing my chest in confidence, and tell her our condition. She gulped and signed it immediately. "Really?" He raised his eyebrows, eyeing him suspiciously. "You don't believe me? I think you don't need my help anymore. Okay, I'm going." He was about to go, but Jungkook hugged him, mumbling, "Thank you. Thank you, Ayun," he said, letting out a sigh. Jimin broke the hug, shocked. "What did you just say?" he said shockingly. Young smiled. "Now you know I'm older than you," he smirked. Jungkook just scratched his head. "Anyways, plan A is done. Now it's time to execute plan B." "This is so heartbreaking," she said, sniffing. It's heartbreaking, but still, she is unaware of her past." "Are you sure if we will take her on that house she will remember her past?" she said, looking at Jungkook, who was just looking down when Jimin was narrating the story to Rose. "She will definitely. We wanted to spend our old age in that house. She wanted to surround our dream house with different flowers. But before she could, he paused for a moment. Rose placed her hand on his. As soon as he felt her touch, he looked up and found her teary eyes. But still, she has a beautiful yet sad smile on her face. "Your love story is incomplete till now, but trust me, Jungkook, I'll convince her anyhow," she said, assuring Jungkook. "I trust you, Rose," he said, smiling at her. "Okay, Rose, you just need to convince her," he said, sipping his coffee. "I will," she said, smiling. "No, Rose," you said, sitting on the bed, picking a storybook from nightstand. "Why are you saying no? What's your problem in that?" she asked irritatingly. "I don't have any problem," you said without looking at her, your eyes glued in the book. Rose let out a irritated sigh before speaking. "Then why are you saying no? See, if you have any financial problem, then I am ready to pay your fees for the trip." You closed the book, looking at her before sighing. I don't have any financial problem. I am capable to pay my fees. I am capable to pay my fees, but you know that I'm not used to school trips since childhood, and you told me that the house where we visiting in an ancient house, and I'm not interested visiting that old house. I clarify myself, so please go to your room and let me study. You said again, opening the book. You're not coming? No. You said, reading the book. Think about it once again. No means no. You sure? Damn sure. Fine then, I am not going to eat anything until you say yes, she said, pouting angrily, folding her hands to her chest, looking away. You closed the book before looking at her. Rose. Rose, this is blackmailing now. Add one more thing. I am not going to talk to you also until you say yes, she said, looking away. This is not fair, Rose. How can I live without annoying my best friend? You said, winning. Rose looked at you, saying, then agree. If you want to annoy me, you sighed before speaking. Fine, I will come. As soon as Rose heard your words, she jumped on you, hugging you tightly. Thank you so much. I love you. She tightened the hug. Yeah, I can't breathe. She immediately broke the hug, pouting. Sorry, she said, pouting. You giggle, saying, I'm just agreeing on this because I wanted you to be happy always. You said, pinching her cheeks cutely. Ah, that's why I love you so much, she said, pinching your nose too. I love you too. Now go and sleep. She nodded. She standing up from the bed and started walking towards the exit, but on the way she jumping like a crazy, mumbling yes again and again. Yes, 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 mission completed, she mumbled. Yeah, why are you jumping like a monkey? You asked, looking at her weirdly. Rose stopped jumping and turned towards you, smiling nervously. Nothing, I'm just so much excited for the trip, okay? Okay, I'm going, good night. With that, she ran outside. She's weird, you said, shrugging your shoulder. You were sitting on the seat alone inside the bus, continuously sighing, looking at the Rose, who was clinging on Jimin, giggling and laughing. You turned your head when you felt presence beside you. You looked up and saw Jungkook standing beside you with a small smile. Can I sit here? He asked politely, pointing at the seat beside you. You smiled at him before saying, sure, why not? He nodded and sat beside you. Thank you, he said, smiling while you just nodded. You glance at Rose one more time, sighing. Jungkook frowned his eyebrows and follow your gaze. Where you looking at? He let out a chuckle. Seems like you're getting bored. You looked at him. Yeah, just look at her. She's always stick with me like a glue. And now look at her. She left me all alone here. You said, pouting, looking down. Jungkook looked at you in awe, saying, hey, you are not alone. I am here for you always. As soon as you heard his words, an unknown feeling rushed through your body, your heart beating like a marathon. You gulped, saying, thanks. You said, blushing, looking down. Jungkook chuckled and extended his hand towards you. You looked at him confusingly. Take this, your favorite drink, strawberry milkshake. You take the bottle from him, mumbling a small thank you. Thank you. Wait, how do you know I love strawberry milkshake? I know everything about you, honey, he said and winked at you. You were froze at your place. Your mouth was wide open. Jungkook chuckled and placed his hand on your chin and closed your mouth. You blinked multiple times and his sweet gesture. We are about to reach, he mumbled nervously. Hope everything is positive and fine, he said, glancing at you, who was sipping strawberry shake through straw, listening the song while looking outside the window. Jungkook smiled a little and let out a shaky sigh, encouraging himself. Be positive, he mumbled. Okay, students, we arrived on our spot. Make a line, do not hurry, and go down, then we will explore the place. As the students heard her voice, they started to collect their stuffs, including you. You unplugged your earpods and tucked it in front pocket of your bag. Jungkook looked at you for the last time and stood up. He glanced at Jimin. Jimin nodded his head with a little smile. Jungkook let out a shaky yet nervous sigh before turning towards you saying, "Can we go now?" He extended his hand. You looked at his hand and then him. You hesitantly placed your hand in his and dragged you outside the bus, followed by Jimin and Rose behind. Whoa, man, the yard looks beautiful, but why this house is all burned? She asked her boyfriend, clicking some pictures of the house, looking around. Her boyfriend rolled his eyes, saying, "How do I know?" Well, it's a long story. They both looked behind and saw Jungkook entering the gate while holding your hand. As they approached the dream house, you couldn't help but feel a sense of deja vu. You put your finger on fences, but there was something familiar. Something familiar about the way the yard looked, the way the sunflower blossomed, the way the trees swayed in the breeze. It was all so familiar. Jungkook noticed the way you was looking around, with your eyes wide and curious. He smiled to himself, knowing that they were getting closer to uncovering your. Wyan, are you okay? He asked softly, placing a hand on your shoulder. You look like you have seen a ghost. You shook your head, trying to push the strange feelings aside. I don't know, it's just this place feels familiar, like I have been here before, you said, looking at him, but Jungkook smiled and grabbed your hand even more tightly, saying, "Let's go inside and explore the whole place." You nodded but asked confusingly. But why the whole house is burned? You asked, looking at him, ready to hear answer, but he sighed, saying, I don't know, he said, looking away. Okay, you free your hand and walk inside where other students present. I killed the people here who snatched you from me. I will I will tell you once you regain your memory. He mumbled to himself and followed you behind. What did you think, Jimin? It will work. I can't see any sign yet, she asked hopefully while walking towards the house. I don't know, Rose. Let's hope for the best, he said, sighing, and entered the house. As they entered the house, your heart began to race. You couldn't quite understand what was pulling you towards this particular house. But as you look around the house, the feeling becomes stronger and more intense. Jungkook, Jimin, and Rose could sense the energy radiating off you. And they knew that they were getting closer to uncovering your past. As you walked up, your eyes darted around the property, taking in everything you could. All felt so familiar to you, like a memory you had locked away in the depths of your mind. Jungkook led you towards the living room, and as they stepped inside, you felt overwhelmed with emotion. It was as if you was transported back in time. Rose walked towards you, who was busy touching the burned stuffs in the living room, rubbing your hands on the wall. But suddenly you felt a little sting pain in your head. You grabbed your head lightly, balancing yourself. Rose saw and ran towards you, saying, "Why and what happened? You okay?" she asked, concerned. You nodded slowly, your eyes still glued to the surroundings. I just feel like I know this place so well, like it's a part of me," you whispered, your voice barely above a whisper. What you feel, Ryan? Did you remember anything? You heard a clear desperation in his voice. You shook your head, saying, "What are you saying, Jungkook? I can't understand." "I am trying to say, do you sense something different, like related to your dreams?" he asked desperately again. Jimin put his hands on Jungkook's shoulder, signing him to calm down. "I wonder why Principal Yoonji approved to go on this burned place. Is she losing her mind or what? Mrs. Hope, this place is burned, but still it's ancient place. But I'm still curious to know what happened in this house," she asked excitedly. "Actually, I googled it and it shows cops found 8 dead bodies here. The killer killed the victims first and also died. That's it. No more information nor picture." After listening her, everyone made a O face while Jungkook sighed in relief. "It's quite scary," he said, fake shivering. "Okay, enough of conversation. It's already lunchtime. Let's eat our lunch." Student nodded and started to unpack their bags. You walked towards the students, followed by Rose. "Nothing is working here." His voice cracked. "Hey, don't lose hope. Just give her some more time," he said, assuring Jungkook. Jungkook nodded and walked towards the students. "It's been 3 hours. You were just looking around the house. There's no sign of remembrance." On the other hand, Jungkook being desperate as the passing hours. He really wanted to cry now. The mixed emotions which you felt since you came in this house made you kind of irritated. You knew that have a some kind of connection this house, but which connection you didn't know till now. You roamed in a house with full concentration like a lost puppy. You try to recall the things you are feeling right now connected to this house. You tried hard to recall why are you feeling like that, and definitely you couldn't find nothing, which made you extremely irritated now. You let out a groan when you felt slight pain in your head. You closed your eyes tightly, and at this moment some words are echoed in your head, and the words is, "I want to surround this whole house with flowers. I want to make a little farm here. And when we grow old, I want to spend my whole life here with you, just you and me alone." You let out a frustrated groan, saying, What's this sounds? What's happening to me? This is so frustrating." You were frustrated about the feelings you are feeling right now. These feelings had become a frustrated for you that if someone was in front of you, you would burst on him or her, and exactly at that moment, Rose approached you, saying, "Ryan, let's go upstairs. You were just roaming around here for past 3 hours," she said, holding your left hand in order to drag you, but you stopped her, saying, "No, Rose, I'm done exploring. I want to go home," you said, and free your hand from her grip. She let out a sigh, turning towards you, saying, "Ryan, we still have few hours to go home. This is 1 day trip. I told you before, school trips are not for me. I'm not used to it. But still, I came here for you. But now these unknown feelings making me irritated now," you said in your irritating voice. "Feelings? Which feelings, Ryan?" she said, by being little bit excited. You glanced at her weirdly before saying, "Forget it. You can't understand." Saying so, you went from there, leaving Rose alone, dumbfounded. You were sitting on the living area, scrolling your phone, getting bored. Meanwhile, other students enjoying their trip. Some students exploring the burnt place while clicking pictures. Some were playing truth and dare with their group of friends, while some other students were roaming in the yard. In short, they were enjoying their school trip very beautifully. Getting bored? You look up from your phone when a faint voice interrupted you. You saw Jungkook was standing in front of you. You, with a small smile, you stared him for a sec and again got busy in your phone. He frowned at your behavior but shrugged it off. He let out a sigh and sat beside you. "Why are you sitting here? Come, let's explore the place." You clearly heard a glimpse of desperation in his voice. I'm not interested, Jungkook, you said without looking at him. Come on, YN. We are here for enjoyment, and even we learned some good things too. He said, looking at you. You just scoffed at his words, saying, go away, Jungkook. You said, being annoyed. What should I do now? Please, God, help me, he thought. I will go from here if you answer me honestly. What is it? You said in a bit cold tone. He took a deep breath before speaking. He was badly. Somehow he was feeling extremely nervous. Do you remember anything while looking at this house? He said, looking down, ready to hear your answer, but instead of answer, he heard your frustrated tone. He looked at you, who was glaring at him, being annoyed. See, I don't know what are you talking about, Jungkook, but I noticed. I noticed you have been asking me only one question ever since we came here. You asked, shouting a bit. Why and I? You cut him off, saying, what do you want to remind me? I don't understand anything. What's wrong with you, Jungkook? You said, shouting. What's wrong with me, Ryan? Don't you remember anything? And here, he broke down completely. Don't you remember this house, our dream house, where you always wanted to spend whole life with me in our old ages, your dream garden. Don't you remember anything from your past, your cook? He said, looking hopefully at you. Past, you said, scoffing. Don't make stories, Jungkook. I'm not believe in reincarnation and all. Then what about your nightmares, Ryan? The person you're watching in your dreams, it's me, Ryan, your cook. What? Before you say something, he spoke. Wait, come with me, I'll show you something. He grabbed your hand. He grabbed your hand and started to drag you somewhere. You tried to stop him, but he is not in his senses. Jungkook, where are you taking me? I said stop. You said struggling. He was dragging you towards upstairs while you are struggling in his grip. He opened the one of door in corridor and dragged you inside. The whole room is burned. Jungkook freed your hand and said, look at this room. I know it's burned, but all the things are as it is in its place. I'm definitely sure you will recognize. Do you remember you always wanted to decorate this room as vintage color? Do you remember? He said desperately while looking at you with his hopefully eyes. You turned towards him saying, I can't, Jungkook. Stop talking nonsense. We are living in modern era. Still you believe in reincarnation type of things? You asked him questionably. The yard, he whispered to himself before grabbing your hand in order to drag you again towards the yard, but this time you jerk his hand harshly, shouting, stop it, Jungkook, just stop it. Why and I? You cut him off, saying, what you want to prove when I'm not interested? You shout at him, letting out your all frustration on him. Ryan, please understand me. I just want to show you something. It's really important to me, he said in his cracked. Jungkook, I don't understand why you are being so persistent. I have told you before that I am not interested in whatever you have to show me. Can't you just leave me alone? You shout, and at this moment Rose and Jimin entered the room. Wine, please. I know I have been bothering you a lot, but this really means a lot to me. Can you just trust me on this one? I'm sorry to say, Jungkook, but I just feel uncomfortable around you. I don't want to be dragged to some unknown place just to see something that might not even interest me. Ryan, at least go with him for once. Don't interfere, Rose. Voice breaking. Ryan, I have never intended to make you uncomfortable. I just wanted to show you something that I thought you would. He paused. But it seems like you don't even care. You have hurt me so much by saying those harsh words to me. I don't understand why you can't see how much I am desperate to letting you know your past. Past again, you said, scoffing. Just don't bother me ever again. You said, joining your hands, wipes tears from his eyes. I understand, Ryan. I won't bother you anymore. I'm sorry for being so persistent. I just hope that one day you will know me. I'm sorry, he whispered with his saddest smile. Saddest smile, looking at you while his tears were continuously flowing from his eyes. He wiped his tears and left from there, while Jimin ran behind him. Rose glared at you and approached you. Aren't you too harsh on him? She asked, disappointed. He was bothering me since morning, talking nonsense. You said, rolling your eyes. Seriously, Ryan, no human gets desperate without any reason like this. You didn't see the pain in his eyes, He just wants you to remember your past. Past, she cut you off saying, I know, you don't believe in all these things, but what about your nightmares, Ryan? You are saying since last 8 years, you don't think that whatever you see in your dreams, somewhere you have felt all that before. Looked at Rose shockingly. The house which you told me, don't you think this is the same house? Yes, its condition is a bit bad, but she stopped talking. I'm really disappointed, Ryan, really disappointed. You hurted him badly, saying she'll leave you there alone. The house, you whisper, looking around, but in instance you feel slight pain in your head. What was that? Ash, I think I need some fresh air. You whispered to yourself and left from there, letting out a big heavy sigh. Jungkook, stop bro, he said, running behind him. Jungkook stopped and rested his both hands on the railing, hanging his head low, crying hysterically. Jimin approached him with his heavy steps and put his hand on his shoulder. Leave me alone, Young, he said without looking at him. But Jungkook, Jackie cut him off. Leave Young, please, he whispered. Not getting any option, Jimin left from there, leaving crying Jungkook behind. Nothing is working, he whispered to himself, crying. Meanwhile, as soon as you stepped inside the backyard, your heart started beating like a marathon. Your unknown feeling, which you were feeling, started getting strong even more. You look around the dirty backyard where some wildflowers and grass grown up in all this year. You were inhaling and exhaling the air in your lungs, but in an instant you started sweating. You don't know why you were feeling nervous out of sudden, but you were sure if you didn't do anything about this feeling, it will killing you inside. Yes, this is the same backyard where you always wanted to plant different types of flowers. You wanted to make a small flower farm here in your past life. You let out a sigh and closed your eyes, and at this moment, a glimpse of blurry picture flashed in your head. You opened your eyes quickly and placed your hand on your chest, breathing heavily, but in an instant you felt a really hard pain in your head, like someone is stabbing your head with hammer. You grabbed your head with both of your hands, breathing heavily. You sat on your knees, closing your eyes really tightly. At this moment, something flashed in your head. Cook, you whispered and shot open your eyes. Yes, you were all aware of your past now. You had really strong memory with this yard. You always wanted, or you can say, dream was to make a farm here. So, as soon as you step here, your feelings grew stronger, and at the end, you remember everything now. Jungkook, you said, crying. You wiped your tears and stood up from the ground and ran inside in order to find him. How's he? She asked Jimin, who was sitting on the couch thinking something. As soon as he heard her words, he shook his head. Rose let out a sigh, but both of their attention went towards you when they saw you approaching them running. Are you happy now making my best friend hurt? He said angrily. Where is Jungkook? You asked desperate. Please tell me. They both looked at each other saying, he's upstairs. Before he could say something, you ran upstairs. Jungkook was still crying silently while hanging his head low, resting his hands on the railing. You entered the corridor and saw him crying. His back was facing you. Cook, you called him. He turned around and saw you crying while making a grabby hands in order to hug him. He let out a loud sob. Yeah, come here. Or you wanted to cry whole day standing there. You said crying. He immediately ran towards you and engulfed in a tight hug. You both were crying hysterically, embracing each other. I'm sorry, Cook. I didn't want it to hurt you, but I was. Shh. It's not your fault, he said, caressing your back. I'm sorry, I'm so bad. Jungkook holds you tightly in his arms, feeling you trembling as you buries your head into his chest. He softly strokes your hair and whispers, it's okay, love. You don't have to apologize anymore. You have suffered enough. Still, you give importance to my suffering, Cook. What about you? What about you, huh? You suffered more than me. You sniffles and pulls back slightly to look up at Jungkook, your eyes red and puffy from crying. Cook, I'm so sorry for everything, for all the pain I caused you. You said, your voice choked with emotions. Jungkook cups your face with his hands and wipes away your tears with his thumbs. Ash, stop crying now. I understand. Stop saying sorry. You sniffle again and leans your face into Jungkook's hand. But I hurt you so much. I don't deserve your forgiveness. I was too harsh on you. I said so many hurtful words to you. Jungkook smiled softly and planted a kiss on your forehead. Cook, our horrible past. You, shh, don't remember anything. We are all flawed. We all make mistakes, and my mistake in the past to leave you alone in that festival. His body shivered, remembering the past. The important thing is that we learn from them and to strive to become better. You looked up at Jungkook, your eyes shining with tears. You are the one who said don't remember the past just a while ago. Jungkook takes your hand and squeezes it gently. He chuckles, saying, sorry, he paused. We can work together to heal the wounds and move on from the past. We can start over and make new memories. Yeah, you nod your head and leans into Jungkook's embrace once again. Thank you, Cook. Thank you for being here for me. Jungkook wraps his arms around you tightly and whispers, always, my love, always. And this time I promise I will protect you at any cost. He whispered in your ears. He broke the hug and pecked your forehead lovingly. You both stare at each other for a while and then lean closer while cupping your right cheek. You close your eyes, ready to feel his lips on yours. You both share a beautiful and passionate kiss. After 5 minutes, he broke the kiss and attach his foreheads with yours, looking in your eyes lovingly. Why are you looking at me like that? You asked shyly, looking down. I'm so happy today. I love you so much, he said, flashing his bunny smile. You look at him fondly, saying, I love you more, you said, and hugged him again. You both turned around and saw Jimin and Rose standing little far away from you both with their teary eyes. You and Jungkook looked at each other and again them. Young, you crying? He asked, smirking. Who said I'm crying, huh? No, I'm not. My eyes just sweating, he said, looking away, wiping his tears. What about you, Rose? You said, folding your hands on your chest, smirking. Yeah, my eyes are also sweating. She looked away. You and Jungkook faced each other, busted out laughing. After few months of dating, you and Jungkook got married, and after 1 year of marriage, you gave birth to a healthy baby girl. You guys named her Lily. And this period of time, Jungkook was really very overprotective to you. Not only for you, but for your daughter too. Who doesn't let you go anywhere alone. Somehow he's still afraid of past and about that house. You both bought that burn house again and renovate it, and you both shifted in that house after few years of your marriage, and you both live happily ever after again.
I want you to know it's okay.